Welcome to another explainer, where we take fascinating science and break it down so you can actually use it. Today, we're diving into something that plagues pretty much all of us: overthinking. You know the drill. Lying awake at 2 a.m., your mind running a highlight reel of your most awkward moments, or just spiraling into absolute panic about a Tuesday meeting. Well, we're going to completely dismantle everything you thought you knew about finding mental peace.
Okay, let's just dive right in because I want to start by throwing out literally the worst advice you've ever been given about overthinking. Don't clear your mind. Do this instead. I know, it sounds totally backwards, right? We've been conditioned to think that a healthy brain equals absolute, pristine silence, just a blank slate. But trying to forcefully clear your mind? That is actually the exact thing keeping you trapped in that endless loop of anxiety.
Think about it for a second. Every meditation app you download, every wellness guru you see online, they all peddle this exact same message. Clear your mind, just breathe, let the thoughts go. It sounds peaceful, but there's a massive glaring problem here. Nobody's brain actually works that way. Your brain is quite literally a thought-generating machine. Chasing silence doesn't bring peace. It just creates way more noise because you are fundamentally fighting your own biology.
Don't believe me? Let's do a really quick experiment right now. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I have one simple task for you. Try not to think about a pink elephant. Seriously. Block it out. Do not picture its trunk. Do not picture those big pink ears. Go. See? You can't do it. The very second I told you to suppress it, a giant neon pink elephant probably stampeded right into the front of your consciousness. It is physically impossible to just turn off a thought on command.
And there's actual science behind why you completely failed to ignore that elephant. Psychologists call it ironic process theory. Basically, it's this psychological phenomenon where deliberately suppressing a thought actually makes your brain obsess over it even more. When you tell your brain, hey, don't think about this, a part of your brain has to constantly check in and ask, are we thinking about it right now? That monitoring guarantees it stays front and center. The harder you try to stop it, the louder and more obnoxious it gets. Back in 1987, a Harvard psychologist named Daniel Wegner proved this, and he used a truly brilliant analogy. Suppressing a thought is exactly like compressing a heavy metal spring. You can push it down with all your might. You might even hold it there for a bit if you use all your energy. But that tension, it is building. And the very second your focus slips, that spring fires back twice as hard, right in your face. That's literally what you're doing to yourself when you try to force a perfectly clear mind. So if we can't clear our minds, what is actually happening when we overthink? I want to completely reframe this for you. Overthinking is not a personal flaw. You aren't broken, and you aren't weak. It's really just your brain's threat detector stuck in overdrive. Millions of years ago, the humans who survived were the ones constantly scanning the horizon for danger. Your brain is using a highly evolved survival tool. It's just operating in the wrong era. It's treating an unread email like a literal saber-toothed tiger. Once you realize your brain is just trying to protect you, you can start decoding what these uncontrolled thoughts actually mean. They aren't random torture devices, they are signals. If you're compulsively replaying a painful memory or an awkward conversation, that's often a signal of unprocessed emotion. Your brain is trying to make sense of something that stung. Or if you're spiraling about the future, that usually signals an unmet need for control or certainty right now. Your brain is desperately trying to communicate with you. So here is the crucial pivot. We have to change the question we are asking ourselves. Stop asking, how do I stop this thought? That's a trap leading straight back to that compressed spring. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what is this thought trying to tell me? What do I actually need right now? Do I need a hard conversation, more sleep, some clarity? Asking how to stop a thought will exhaust you because it's a battle you can't win. But asking what it means, man, that sets you free. And once you identify what it's doing, you can use your own biology to neutralize it. The absolute fastest way to do this, name it out loud to activate your prefrontal cortex. If you are spiraling, literally say out loud, I'm having the thought that I am going to fail this project. Just applying language and labeling a thought shifts the electrical activity in your brain. It pulls the energy away from your amygdala, that panicked emotional center, and hands control straight back to the logical, rational part of your brain. It strips the thought of its drama instantly. Because, and this is the ultimate secret here, the goal was never to empty your mind. The goal is to make the thought boring. When you observe a thought without reacting to it, without fighting it, it loses all its power. You just notice it like, oh, there's that anxious thought about the future again, right on schedule. No panic,
no resistance. Our brains are thrill seekers. They latch onto high-stakes emotion. If a thought isn't dramatic, it simply won't stick around. But what about those moments when it is truly intense, when labeling just isn't cutting it and you are caught in a massive mental storm? Well, here is the unexpected revelation. Don't clear your mind. Instead, flood it. If your brain is demanding to be active, if it's obsessively processing, give it exactly what it wants. You just need to redirect that mental energy and completely flood your brain's processing capacity with something totally harmless. This brings us to a highly actionable technique called the sensory anchor method. When that spiral hits, do this. Step 1. Pick one physical thing in the room with you right now. A coffee mug, a plant, whatever. Step 2. Describe its exact color. Step 3. Describe its texture. Step 4. Describe the shape and the way the shadows fall across it. Describe it in insane, exhaustive detail. Why? Because your brain physically cannot spiral into existential dread and hyper-observe a physical object at the exact same time. It just lacks the bandwidth.
And the reason this is so wildly effective comes down to a specific neural network. The sensory anchor method physically hijacks what neuroscientists call your default mode network. This is the part of your brain responsible for rumination and mind wandering. When you're just passively sitting around, the default mode network is running the show. But the moment you demand intense, focused sensory observation, your brain has to switch networks. The default mode network literally powers down, and you stop the overthinking spiral at a neurological level. And the absolute best part about all of this, no app required. You don't need a monthly subscription to master your own biology. You don't need a silent retreat in the mountains. You already have the hardware. You have the prefrontal cortex to label those thoughts, and you have the sensory processing power to hijack your default mode network on command. You have the power to break the pattern the second it starts. We've covered some genuinely powerful science in this explainer today, but now I want to turn it over to you. I absolutely love hearing how different minds work out there in the real world. So what's the weirdest trick that's ever actually calmed your mind? We all have those strange little pattern interrupts that just do the trick for us. Drop it below in the comments. I'm collecting the best ones for a future explainer. Test out that sensory anchor this week, and let's keep making our minds work for us instead of against us. See you next time.